Lindsay Chervinsky in Washington. She's a political historian specializing in early America, the presidency, and government. Lindsay, you know, this must be an exciting, or at the very least, a very interesting time for a political historian, as we've never seen anything like this before. Talk to us about the historical significance of what we're witnessing here.
Sure, you're right. It is definitely an exciting, albeit slightly troubling time to be a presidential historian. What's so amazing is in the 230 years of American history, there have only been four impeachments. Of course, the House has considered it a couple more times than that, but there have only been four presidential impeachments, and two have come in the last 2 years. So that really demonstrates the magnitude of Trump's behavior and his presidency and the political response to it by Congress.
Is there anything at all in U.S. history that you would compare this to?
Well, there are a couple of course, other presidential impeachments. I think the Andrew Johnson impeachment in the 1860s is important because that was a time when the country was really divided, politically very partisan. And so some of the tensions that we're thinking about today, that's a close parallel. The other one I would draw people's attention to was actually the impeachment of a cabinet secretary in 1876. William Belknap was the only cabinet secretary ever to be impeached, and he actually resigned right before the vote because he was hoping that it wouldn't happen if he left office. And the Senate actually decided that they still had the authority to try the impeachment and therefore voted to impeach him and prevent him from holding office in the future. Now, they didn't get the two-thirds majority, so he wasn't actually convicted, but it was a really important moment in terms of setting precedent that indeed the Senate can hold these impeachment proceedings after someone leaves office.
What do you think this all means for Trump's legacy?
Well, I think it would be impossible at this point to separate Trump's legacy from the January 6th events, the very violent insurrection, his response to it, and the impeachment. There's no doubt in my mind that that will be the first line in his legacy because it is such an unprecedented and historic moment. But I think we also can't separate that from the last year. And I doubt that any of this would have happened if not for the outrage, the death, the suffering that we've seen from the pandemic as well. And I really think that sort of genuine harm and the infliction of distress on the nation cannot be separated from the events of January 6th.
All right. Well, it certainly is a very interesting, if not troubling time, as you said. Lindsay Chervinsky in Washington, thank you.